Tsarfati, and I'm live from Galilee. And I'm sure that many of you have already heard about, this whole anti-missionary legislation and all the fear that people thought that nobody will ever be able to share the gospel in Israel, Anyway, I would like to update you about that, but more so, I would like to update you about something much, much more important and much bigger than this. So I'll let you have a few seconds. But again, these are breaking news for two reasons. One is the anti-missionary legislation, which obviously Netanyahu said he will not advance, which means it's not going to happen. But more so, I've got some news about Israel's situation. And I don't know if you're following me on Telegram, but if you are, then you probably know already. But Israel is right now in the most dangerous and difficult situation since 1973's Yom Kippur War. So, again, I'm going to wait for you guys to connect. There's a lot of you from different parts of America and, of course, in Europe that I see that you're connecting. I'm happy to see you. People from Missouri, from Australia, I see. A lot of people are also from East Coast, West Coast of America. Anyone from Europe? I wonder, do you have anyone from the Netherlands or from Germany or from, I see SoCal, I see Arkansas. Okay, so Texas is in the house, I see. Hello. Anyone else? All right. So listen, South Africa, shalom, South Africa. Canada, hello there. Who else is here? I see people from Maine, the state of Maine. California is in the house. Hello, Paul. Netherlands is in the house. Priscilla, good to see you. Texas. Okay, so let's start with this, okay? First of all, please share. Press the share button. This is an important update. Super important update, okay? First of all, quite a few people read the news from, I'm not sure who, that there is an anti-missionary bill that the Israeli parliament is going to pass. Everybody sent me those urgent news, and if you sent it to me, you got my reply that this is not going to happen. You've got to understand that the ultra-Orthodox members of parliament needs to show their constituents that they are doing something against Jews converting to Christianity. So they are proposing this bill. This is the exact same bill they proposed in the last Knesset, and this is exactly what they've been trying to do since the 1960s. So there's no need to panic. No one in this country can prohibit an adult from sharing with another adult anything. This is what we call democracy. And definitely when it comes to, Christianity, it's just like you cannot prohibit a Jew from sharing Judaism elsewhere, you cannot prohibit a Christian from sharing Christianity. So this is, of course, a lot of people got too nervous. They thought this is the end of everything. No, it's not. Okay? The members of parliament of the Orthodox Jewish community needed to show that they are doing something, and Prime Minister Netanyahu said it's not going to happen. End of story. Okay, now let's move to the most important thing. And again, I will say that with as much caution as possible. We are in a very, very tough situation. And I will be the first to admit, although, I'm always there to tell you how strong and how great Israel is, this is not the case right now. Let me make it very clear. Israel right now is in one of the most difficult situations since 1973, a war in which we nearly were annihilated. It's 1973 that Golda Meir called Richard Nixon and told him, Mr. President, if America is not going to help Israel within, next few hours, Israel might not exist anymore. And of course, biblically, we know Israel will exist, but what I'm trying to say is that the situation today is as bad, if not even worse, than the 1973 war. Now, let me explain why. If you've been following me on Telegram, you probably read from time to time about how the Iranians are smuggling rockets and weapons into Syria through the Iraqi-Syrian border. The number of convoys that are entering into Syria is unprecedented. The number of Revolutionary Guards, seniors, unprecedented, that are entering. The number of, I'm sorry, but there's a problem with internet connection here. The number of terrorists meeting and plotting against us in Lebanon, in Syria, in Yemen, and of course in Tehran, and in Gaza is unprecedented. Israel is having 3 vectors that are right now working against it. Okay, let me try now to return. Okay, so 3 vectors. One is the global vector, the alliance between the Russians, the Chinese, the Saudis, and the Iranians give Iran the legitimacy and the acceptance. Iran is no longer outcast, is no longer something everybody wants to run away from. Everybody's now running towards the Iranians. That's the first thing. The second thing is the regional vector. All the proxies all around us are arming themselves to their teeth, and they're emboldened by what they see in Israel, and that's the third vector. We've never seen so much weakness projected by the left, Israeli leftists, those liberals that are saying, if Netanyahu is in power and if the judicial reform will pass, that will make Israel a dictatorship. Therefore, we're not going to serve in the military and we're not going to volunteer for our reserve duty. Israel's military is based on the reservists. And when the Iranians and the Hezbollah and Hamas and Houthis, when they're all listening to these voices and they see that we're falling apart from within, these are like hyenas that are surrounding a limping lion, thinking when will be the best time to jump and bite. We've never been in such a situation when there is such a disastrous American administration when it comes to foreign affairs, when there is such an emboldened Iranians and all of their proxies, and when there is so much division within the country. We've never, ever been in such a situation. Now, some of you might say, yeah, Amir, don't forget, God will always save Israel. But, God will fight for us, there's no doubt. But we don't want to see all of our enemies ganging all around us and coming and attacking us. Now, we know that it's going to happen at some point. The Ezekiel war will come. And we know that Israel will not be able to win with its own military, but it will have to be God who will win through supernatural means. But nevertheless, this is a very dangerous time, not only militarily, but also spiritually. The left, the liberal progressive left, is not just literally abandoning the duty to, fight for the country, but it's also brainwashing our next generations. Yesterday, the left has embraced a 9-year-old girl that ran and grabbed the microphone in her school function, and she said, "My lesbian sisters and my gay brothers, that's the time for a revolution. Let's fight so we can live free," and all of that. I mean, again, that has nothing to do with judicial reform. It's some sort of a brainwashing that they've been going through. But then the adult, which grabs the microphone after her, said, "Well, I'm so proud. This is the country, and this is the children that we have today." And that's the whole story. The whole story is that we have lost our way as a nation. And when some people want to get us back to the way, there is a demonic power that is actually coming and rising against it. And not only that they're weakening us from within, but they're exposing us to great danger from the outside. I want to tell you, folks, there's an attack, even within Israel, on so much. Even within the body of Christ, there's an attack on the marriage, attack on literally everything. And there is attack also all around the world on aspects such as believing that Israel is the fig tree, believing in the soon rapture of the church, believing in the blessed hope. Everything good, everything that is biblical is under attack right now. And Israel is under great danger right now. Unlike any other time. Look, I'm exactly 50 years old. Even in the worst wars, we were never so vulnerable as we are right now. So I would like you to pray for Israel. Pray for the government. Pray for eyes to be open. Pray for our enemies to be blinded. Pray for the word to prosper. And thank you for praying, because look, we are seeing miracles after miracles. It's not even April, and since the beginning of the year, 150 terror acts were thwarted. 150. It's about 50 a month that are being thwarted. What about those that unfortunately succeeded? Prayer is not a good weapon. It's the only weapon. And I call all of you to use it, okay? I'm telling you, I don't remember this country being so attacked from outside and from inside. Eventually, it will come to a blow-up. And I'm not sure if it's going to be the Ezekiel war or maybe something even earlier than that. But I will tell you that prayer matters and works. So I'm here to tell you, more than ever before in your life, pray for Israel, pray for the peace of Jerusalem, pray for the salvation of the Jews, pray for eyes of so many that are looking and searching. Pray that their eyes will be open. Pray that throughout all of this, the enemy is going to be defeated, and pray that truth and righteousness will prevail. Look, I'm not naive. I know exactly that eventually Israel will be so blind to accept the Antichrist as Messiah. And I know that at least 2/3 of them are going to follow him and even receive the mark, because Zechariah 13 says that 2/3 will perish, and only the last 30 will bring through the fire and refine them and purify them. That's the Israel that will be saved when Jesus returns at the end of the tribulation. So there's so much that is going on, so much to pray for. Please please pray, okay? Please share this right now. There's so much information. Look, I didn't want to get into details regarding what happened or what is going on in Lebanon right now, what is going on in Syria right now, what we know about stuff that is going on in Gaza right now. But I can tell you the amount of information that I have is probably 10% of what the military has. And it's scary. So please pray and share it, okay? Thank you and God.